the beginning of the project, you're setting expectations, the goals, missions, vision, and why. Like, you're just setting expectations. You know what it is you're doing for each of these individual projects. You're needing to generate excitement and inspiration. Like, okay, we're doing this and get the team rallied. You might have somebody on your team that is kind of champion the project. Think about how you can support that person, or that could be you. But oftentimes there needs to be some sort of motivating factor to help increase your energy. And if you feel like you have a lack of energy, like physically and mentally, that might mean like some very basic things, like you got to get more sleep. You got to eat better. You got to eat more whole foods, more greens. Like it might sound like, oh, of course I need to do that. But it doesn't mean you're doing it. Drinking more water, exercising, walking, getting sunlight, getting vitamin D, those things all help with your energy. So it's not just about design, it's about designing outside of the screen, designing your life outside of the screen, right? So important. Understanding your timelines, KPIs, OKRs, business tasks. These are, again, if you know what these things are, it helps inform your priorities. If you don't know when your timelines are, if you don't know when what your KPIs are, if you don't like OKRs, like your goals, your quarterly goals, or how the business is doing, it's hard to know what your priorities are going, right? So continually ask for your priorities. Even for my team, I'm trying to constantly share things that are happening in the business, priorities for the business, so that my individual ICs and leads can actually go and set their own priorities for their work. We have a very small team, so we've had to take a lot more ownership and responsibility for execution. I encourage to share these things pretty frequently. And then we have a team visuals that help with expressing these things and showing these things off. What do we know and what do we need to learn are always really good questions that you can ask. You need to understand your team norms, like your rituals, routines, your rhythms of the team. You need to understand their project touch points, feedback culture, retrospectives. Like, when are these things happening? How are you giving feedback? After a meeting happens that, it's a pretty big meeting, debrief that meeting. Understand with your team, how could it have been better? What kind of feedback do you have? Give your team some feedback immediately, directly after the session, and asking questions and gaining clarity, right? If you're unclear about your priorities, if you're unclear about how to be more efficient, start asking the more difficult questions, like why, and really break it down. Do some reflection.